better sign for Ken.
Yeah,
We
please.
were just waiting on, do you know if Roman's coming?
He might be working as
Okay.
an extra today, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Why not?
The last meeting, I completely forgot.
Yeah, well, the last meeting we ended up canceling. Well,
But I did get to
last week
see
we
it.
ended up canceling because of the weather.
But I got to see it because
Oh,
of,
okay. Oh, that one, yes.
so I went online the next day and
Yeah.
I seen the whole meeting.
Yeah. Which was a great meeting. I think there was a lot of ideas being thrown around, and I
Yes.
think today we just want to finalize what we can realistically do
Sure.
in a short time frame. And let me wait to see if
Did we get any answer on the inscription?
we did. Let me read you, and let me see if I have it on me. Hold on, I'm sorry, because I know Bob sent
I
me
should
the-
know that, but I don't.
So, it was a pain in the butt. We literally got something approved at the last minute, and even past that, because I think they gave us till the Friday, and we didn't get approval till Tuesday morning. So, where was it? Okay, so what it's going to say, because we recommended what everybody had seen, what the Park District agreed upon was tribute to the past, to all the union men and women and their families who shared the steel dreams.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So,
Oh,
so I
yeah,
think it
beat
was
that.
just maybe,
They
I
didn't
think,
like labor?
yeah, so they removed that, and
No,
I mean,
union
it
is
was,
fine.
okay, so,
Yeah, you
so it
can't-
was
can't
just
knock that.
tricky, I mean, but as long as
But they
they
got
have
it.
union in there, that's what matters, so that's
You know,
what it's going to say.
What cracks me up is these guys sitting there going, well, wait a minute, how do we parse this, how do we parse that?
Beginning, but I never thought
You
about
know,
it. I thought that it by saying that it
Well,
meant-
I thought exactly the opposite. I thought labor would be more acceptable to them than saying the union specifically.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but
I think that their understanding, they thought that the issue was with that it said men and women, or that it said men and women families, or I really don't know. They thought that there was an issue with that, or that it said labor unions, like kind of saying that it was the men that worked and then women and their families. You know what I mean?
Well, that was.
So that was a tricky one too. So
know.
they had to put and. These are that you don't think about until
Yeah.
somebody else
Another
points it
way of
out.
looking at it.
Mhm. But we got that, so at least that works for
Yeah,
everyone.
That's good.
So I guess we could start. I'm sure Jackie will be coming in, and she's probably just running a little late. First off, I just wanted to make sure, does April 18th work with everyone? That's a Saturday, and I think it's after Easter and everything, so we don't have to worry about that. And
the 18th is what, on a Saturday?
it's a Saturday. Mm-hmm.
And that's what we had talked about, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure so we
Did
can.
anybody check the Farmer's Almanac?
What
Kevin
is
usually
that?
does.
That's
We
no
did
joke.
that for our block party.
No joke at all, right?
Really?
Oh, no, I'm agreeing with you. I always go by that too.
Yeah.
They weren't
They're very
as
close,
accurate
very,
this
very
year.
close. You could even
They
ask
said
them
this
because
winter
they
was gonna be as
Farmer's
bad
Almanac,
as
they
last
give the
winter,
date
and it
and
hasn't
they'll
been
tell
so far.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're talking April.
So the Park District is fine. So that's another question that I had. What time are we looking at? And I think that just depends on how big of an event we're looking
Okay.
at.
Well, I haven't seen any lot of changes. I mean,
So that's up in the air. What are your thoughts on the time?
What did we say? Before?
So
I
he-
thought we were gonna do it later in the afternoon.
So did I.
Yeah, I thought it was by noon,
Tentatively in the calendar for the Alderman, we have it at 12. So I think it just a matter of if it's
afternoon is fine with me.
if it's an hour long event, noon
Because we were
works.
talking about, remember we were talking about having the roach wagons there for lunch, kind of thing,
That's-
experience and all
That's
of
true.
that.
Because then if we do earlier, then we have to worry about breakfast as opposed to
But we won't call it,
the roach
Roach
part.
wagon.
The Roach Bus event. So what are we saying now? Are we saying noon?
So at noon? Does noon work for everyone?
yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Come on, calendar, wake up.
All right. Do you want to give us an update on the sculpture and how that's going?
Well, from what I heard from
I think
Roman,
he needs an agenda.
we're allowed to go, I think, next week. I believe it might be the 16th or something, because they already have the first part ready to cast. So they were gonna let us film it and add more footage
Oh,
to the
okay.
film. So we were thinking of writing down Mount Morris to pick up that extra footage. But as far as we know, the first half is being casted any day now.
Okay.
And from what I've heard, everything's on schedule, everything's going.
Okay. When is the completion date?
I believe the completion date is somewhere March, either second or last week of March. It'll be
I think
completed.
that's what they were saying before.
Yeah, because I think it's coming to Chicago, I believe, somewhere at the end of the month of March, somewhere.
So they'll deliver it on site, or do you have to?
No, it's coming out, the way it's gonna work, according to the way Rome got it set up, when the base get put up, then right after that following, it'll be coming and everybody work coordinate. Because what they have to do is, once they get the thing on there, they have to brace it to the, so they have to keep in touch with each other, they gotta send each other the specs.
Oh, does it?
Because it has to dry, everything has to set,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
that's
they'll
right,
bring it
makes
here,
sense.
and then they'll do it.
On the day of, is there a way to hook it so you don't have to climb up the ladder, so you can just
We could
like
think
pull a
of
thing
some,
and it
Yeah.
drops off? and-
That'll be cool.
we gotta think about that, but we do have to take everything off the day before.
Right,
you know,
right.
that
Right.
day.
No, I'm just talking
So
about.
that way,
something
we
that's
keep
Or even
symbolic.
the morning
even the
of.
drape, we could leave the drape down there and then some
Yeah,
other,
that's right. We
Even-
started
pull the
noon.
drape off.
Even the
Yeah.
morning of, because if we're starting at noon, we can try to get that taken care of,
yeah, in the
the
morning when we
morning
get there, by
Mhm.
10,
Yeah,
11.
yeah.
and then that
I
way.
just think it's a
Mhm.
nice dramatic thing to
Yeah.
have it come off,
Cause I got all that stuff, I got
Because we
ladders and
can't
all that
launch
stuff
it like
to
the
do it,
ship,
so.
so.
Because if I'm not mistaken, and we'll go over the agenda, kind of what we think, but if I'm not mistaken, the ribbon cutting would take place first because it's the Steelworkers Park, right? And then we do the unveiling of the
Sure.
sculpture.
Right, right.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to talk to you guys as far as what do you guys have any idea of how you want this event to take place? Because really, we're just here to facilitate. I mean, we could definitely put it together if we want, but we want to see what you guys want to see, or any thoughts that you have.
Well, we had suggested, like, for instance, I was talking to some friends of mine, from the, they're Kiowas. But they have relatives that are here, and now we could bring in a shaman to say something about, the family, the family part of it, there's so many people that want part of it right now. We could bring in, concheros to do a ceremony, because we are now hooked up with the concheros from Indiana, we tied in with them. So we have access to a lot of this odd stuff that we didn't have, that if we want to make it more interesting, we could add, if the committee, feels that we could add a little, but they'll be short. Like to me, if somebody came and gave a blessing, I said, well, what's more better blessing than to give it to the shaman, a medicine man from the American Indian. He could be the first one to say anything, just, hey, before we open it, this is,
So
if
Yeah.
we want to go there.
Yeah. Well, really quick, let me just go over. So for the flyer, let me just touch on the flyer. I will be working with Grace Robledo to put that together. I want to be able to have it finished by Thursday or Thursday, just to get a rough draft. Really, this is kind of a save the
Thursday
date.
this week? Okay.
Yeah, just kind of like
Right,
a save the date, just to save the date. We want to be able to have a more descriptive flyer, in the upcoming weeks or so, but just want to be able to put the date out there,
That's a good,
That's a very good.
For the save the date, I'm probably not going to include any kind of logos or anything because it's just to save the date. But we will need logos of any organizations that want to be included on the flyer. Just because obviously the park district's going to have to go on there because they're sponsoring it. We're not going to have to pay for the space, which can be costly. Especially because it's a ribbon cutting ceremony. But also if we want to have food there and stuff, they would normally charge us. So we're going to try to just get around that since they're sponsoring.
Yeah, okay.
So any kind of logos, if you guys want to email me those whenever you have a chance.
Oh, the Historical Society, I think.
Yeah, we'll
we have one.
get you to the Steelworkers.
Okay, and then we can include those into the
Until the final
the
thing.
fla-
Yeah,
the
I
final
understand,
fire.
I understand.
The program, Jackie, I want to say Jackie was the one that said that she's going to work on the program. So she'll put kind of like the agenda together for the event, and we can print those out. That's no problem. But we'll print out programs to have that day. So now the invite to elected officials, I'll take care of inviting like all the state reps and Robin Kelly and
I have a question about the logos. I'm not sure if it'd be appropriate or not, but I'm wondering let me ask anyway, the Spotlighting Southeast Chicago website, which pulls all this stuff together, would that be appropriate to put
Yes.
that
Why
on?
not?
I mean, we're all sitting in this committee, and everybody in here is putting their time and effort. You are doing a great service to us for providing these videos for us. That definitely, we can definitely include that. And we would
then
love
people
to be
can
able to
see
put the
it.
link. Yes, we would love to be able to put the link
Weather
on there.
permitting.
He gets the history merit badge.
Right?
Because we got it all down.
Right.
You're a Boy Scout.
Definitely.
They wouldn't let me in the Boy Scouts, that's horrible.
We'll
So,
change that.
any other speakers, I can add that if you guys, I mean,
We had talked about the district director from the Steelworkers.
Actually, it was the Cub Scouts, not the Boy Scouts.
the Steelworkers. And did you get a chance to reach, and you know, and I'm so sorry, I was supposed to email you a letter or something, right, or no?
What was I supposed to do?
For, to see if they'd be interested in, they already said, yeah, they'd be interested in speaking, or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. No, I had talked to them before.
Okay. And what is, his or her
His name is Mike Millsap.
Mike? Hi, Jackie. You gonna,
Millsap. Hi, Jackie.
please spell his last name for me, please?
Millsap.
SAP? Okay. Any other ideas for speakers?
Well, somebody from the Historical Society, right?
Do you know who would want to speak?
Yeah, well, when Victor was here, he was talking about B. Lumpkin and other people also, I think.
Oh, that's right, rank and filers. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and Roman.
Oh, B, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
of course,
right.
Roman.
So,
Well, it's
oh,
interesting
he'll
because I'm
definitely wanna
also, I'm
stop and
also
speak.
an ex-steelworker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Otherwise, we
Jackie,
wouldn't take
if
it.
I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, did you say you would take care of the program? Putting the program together?
No.
I don't know who said
That was wishful
that.
thinking.
Shake it back and I'll help. Okay.
Okay, I mean, we could do it
This side of
together.
the table remembers that, right?
It's on film.
I don't remember. I thought I said, I'm sorry if you
I'll
didn't.
help you.
But yeah, if we can help, just to
Yeah.
get an idea of, we want to make sure we cut everybody's time.
That's
I don't want to make
fine.
it super long.
No problem
So,
solving.
okay, cool. So we'll work together on that one. Okay, so any other? I know. Also, so you said the district director of Steelworkers, and I'm sorry, Joanne. What was the?
Victor had a couple of ideas.
Oh, he's talked to Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah, B. Lumpkin was
B.
one.
Lumpkin was
Lumpkin.
one.
And he was
Somebody else,
he
I
was
think.
thinking about, without a name, a rank and filer who worked in a plant at South.
Okay.
We can find somebody who was an officer of the local or something.
Okay.
I think that's what Victor was.
And then, obviously, Roman, we'd like
Yes.
you to say,
Sure.
and you'll probably speak right before the unveiling, I would think, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
He should yank the cord.
Yeah.
So-
I'm sorry, how many people, I'm sorry, excuse me for my
Oh, no.
tardiness, everyone.
So we'd be looking at, I don't know if all the elected officials would speak. I
Mhm.
would have to talk to the alderman and
Okay.
see who. Maybe just like Robin Kelly and,
Okay.
I don't know, we'll see.
Okay.
Maybe 2 or 3. Just really quick, couple lines. And then as far as speakers, it'd be the district director of Steelworkers, Mike Millsap. And then B. Lumpkin, would be the historical side of it, or no?
Well, her husband worked through Wisconsin Steel to get,
Save Our Job Committee.
yeah,
Save
did
Our
her job.
Jobs
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that.
and she's written 2 books.
Okay.
I've read one.
And
The
then,
first one?
Well, his book, the one he
Okay.
wrote,
Okay.
Always bring a crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then we were gonna check for another officer of, what was it?
Of the local 65.
Of local safety.
I mean, one person, I don't know if his health will be up to it or not, but Ed Sedlowski might
Oh.
agree to do it.
Yeah, Victor had the same reservations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know,
Yeah.
his health is not
Yeah,
real great
yeah.
right now, but we can see, I mean.
Could you kind of
it's up
pencil him
and
in as a
down.
possibility for them or something?
Yeah, he's definitely a possibility.
Okay. And he's in Florida right now, or no?
He's in,
Yeah. And then,
but by then it'll be a little warmer, so.
True. Yeah.
Maybe we can tempt him back.
Right. And then after that, I would think that it'd be the Roman and then the sculpture unveiling.
Right, and, I think-
Oh, I forgot. I'm sure the park district's gonna wanna say something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So okay, so maybe after the elected officials, maybe we had the park district and then they do the ribbon cutting and then do the directors and then, or what do you think?
That sounds great, that
That
sounds
sounds
great. I think the entity in behalf of Roman and the arts and their support would be to see if maybe we show, Boom.
Michelle.
Michelle
Michelle
Boone.
Boone.
Okay, so then have Michelle go before Roman
Or-
Yeah, that would, yeah, I think Roman should be the.
And,
Yeah.
and then,
The
okay.
spotlight.
Yeah.
So we would have the elected officials, whoever it may be, then the park district, then the ribbon cutting, the actual, for the park. And then, somebody's probably gonna have to mention something about, I don't know, what do you think?
Mention what?
Or should we have all these other speakers? I don't know, what are your thoughts, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I would say, yeah, it's just something quick and brief. It
Mhm.
seemed like, let's take a look from when they opened up Route 41.
Mhm.
How many people spoke?
Well, I kind of missed it, I was stuck
Oh,
in the.
that's right.
Yeah. not
We put it-
everybody
we
could
put
be
it
there.
together.
I
And
was
then you
there.
didn't get to be there?
No, I was on the other, I was stuck on the other side
Yeah,
of
we
the.
were too. A lot
Right.
of
We
people.
Well,
were,
just
we were gonna
about
record it and we
everybody
couldn't get
said-
near it.
All the elected officials said something.
Okay,
I think so.
and it was quick, right?
It was really quick.
Okay, so we'll have the elected officials say something real quick. The park
Yeah.
district will speak quick as well,
Mhm.
cut it. And then we'll go with the district director of Steelworkers as well as, you
All
know,
of them should be cool.
all of them, okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then, Michelle Boone
Right.
would be after those speakers.
And I'll check to see if she can.
And then after Michelle, it'll be Roman.
Yeah.
And then,
And I just feel like if Michelle's not there, no replacements.
Okay,
You know what I'm
no
saying?
problem. okay,
Um,
and then Roman, and then, okay. All right, as far as entertainment, I know you had a couple ideas. Any,
Well, one thing I'm still wondering about, we had talked about, and I can't remember how it was supposed to be processed. But what's it, the neighborhood art thing that we were thinking about trying to have a gate there that looks a little bit like the gate when people went into work, kind of thing.
in the entrance of the park, you know how right now they have, so, okay, so we would have to find who would be able to create that.
Wasn't there some project of doing neighborhood art or something like that we had talked about?
That will be a long-term process, that would be
Oh, that wouldn't
eventually,
happen.
yeah, that would be,
right.
definitely we would be able to do that, but that would just, that wouldn't be for this event.
You're talking about Derek Clemens, right?
Yeah, so they're talking about gateway rather than Millgate.
Mhm.
So it'd be a gateway to South Chicago,
Yeah.
like through the viaducts or whatever, you know, so like
Yeah.
each of the entrances to the
Yeah.
shopping area.
Those
But
were the
there was
projects.
also,
More
but
like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
rather than a Millgate.
But there was also, I think, talks of, since it was Steelworkers Park, eventually, since if we wanted to just, you know,
To have a Millgate kind of
mm-hmm.
set up there,
Yeah.
like
that
you're walking
entrance
into
right
the
there.
plant.
Uh-huh.
But I'm wondering if, I mean, I don't know if this is possible or not, it's up
Mhm.
to artists, could we make something out of like paper mache? or
Right, that's what I
something
was
like
thinking. I was
that?
like, I wonder if somebody can
Just
create
do it
one.
just be
It's
temporary?
weather permitting and it depends on the size.
Yeah,
Because anything could be done, but it's just a matter of the time frame.
right.
And what would, that's what I'm trying to get in a visual of
Just-
whether they
Just
make
a little
it.
thing that says US Steel at the top or something like that, and somebody stand by it dressed like a guard or something like that, and with our buckets.
The Millgate type.
Roman had talked earlier about eventually perhaps along that walkway, the path, having other artwork
Oh,
representing
yeah,
other,
yeah, yeah.
other
That's-
parts of
this is
steel
different,
history.
yes. Yeah, and that's long-term, we understand that, yeah.
Quick.
Mhm.
Somebody's working on it, and I don't know what the cost of supplies. I mean, I can ask Sarah to see if there's something she can do.
Mhm.
But, you know, we always have to remember in order to do it, it's, you know, there's always a cost.
Sure.
Mhm.
And then the other one is the weather.
If we have that.
Weather would
Exactly.
be good.
Weather
Because it is
permitting is real
April.
important.
And we know it did not finish melting until last May. Just saying.
But Scott, one of
True.
the things that you were talking about then was something for the immediate event, not necessarily
Right,
long-term.
right, right,
Yeah.
that's what, right, right, right.
Okay.
That would be cool,
So I
though.
should have a conversation with Sarah to see if she can do it.
Just to see what her thoughts are, yeah.
I mean, even if it was just ribbons or something, you know,
Mhm.
on
Okay.
poles or something like that, so it
Yeah.
just,
Well, we can do that. What kind of ribbons? I mean, you're saying just to put ribbons on the poles or decorate on
well,
there?
if we had
Like
two
arts,
poles and
Uh-huh.
we could have a kind of a banner between them that looked
Okay.
like, the entrance to the plant or something like
Mhm.
that, you know, and anything like that that sort of looked like a gate, so.
Yeah.
And remember then we had talked about the mobile food being outside
Right.
of that, so people come out and
Mhm.
walk
Mhm.
through like you did in the old days from the gates and stuff like that.
So we're talking at 87th and
the lakefront. I don't know what that address would be.
Okay.
I just call it
But not on the
87th in
drive.
the lake. 'Cause it
Yeah.
doesn't have
So,
the
Farther
street.
exactly
back.
where would you want it? Would you want it right at Route 41 or
Mhm.
further back?
He
Maybe
was
you have
talking
to
about
tell
the
me
entrance to the
exactly-
park.
Right at the entrance to the park.
Okay, so that's at the end where the cars are parked. and
Mhm.
Right,
there's a little
where the
cul-de-sac.
circle is, and it would
Okay.
be right in front of
That's
that.
what I
Yeah.
need to
And
know.
then we could park the lunch wagons,
Mhm.
you know, right there, and that would take care of the vendors in terms of food and stuff.
I'm gonna ask Sarah, and then I'm also going to have a conversation. There's a group, Chicago Arts Partnership in Education, that's gonna be working with Washington High School, and I told them about this project, and they're like, oh, they would love to tap into it. So I don't know what that is, and have to have a little longer conversation and see where they would go. And what's great about them is that they're not just creating art, but they're integrating it into their curriculum. So most likely it'll have a historical, educational piece to
Excellent.
whatever it is that they can
Right.
contribute. So I'll
Awesome.
find out and see if we can say, hey, what do you think can happen
Mhm.
around this time to add to it.
Nice.
Was one of the artists, is his first name Andres?
I have no idea. As a matter of fact, they're looking for artists and they might be giving you a call too.
Okay, well,
They're
because
looking for
Maria's
artists
working
in this
in
area.
Washington right now, that's where she's at
Oh,
now.
she's there?
Mhm.
Okay.
Andres. He was at one
Yeah,
of your
some,
events.
somebody talked to me about him the other day, because they mentioned, Maria mentioned this to me, and they want to get in contact with him for something, so this might be it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because they are
Yeah.
trying to reach out to
Yeah.
artists and, yeah, so.
Yeah,
And
that are in the area.
Are you guys familiar with Larry Spivak, president of Illinois
Yeah.
Labor History? Okay,
I
so
know.
he reached out to us as well,
Uh-huh.
and he wasn't able to make it to the meeting today. He's going to be out of town. He said won't be back till the end of the month, but would like to sit down after that and see in what way they can participate
Oh, that'd be
and
great.
help out.
Yeah.
So they're really interested as well. I know that they're looking to do some kind of signage with history facts. I'm not sure.
Oh,
along the
great.
park.
That fits in perfectly.
Yeah, no, that's actually, that's the thing we were talking about.
Is that the
Yeah.
same thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
the kind of, remember we had
Perfect.
talked about the path being,
Yes.
being like the river?
So is
and
that what
then-
he's talking about then?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I think that's what he's talking about. I remember talking to him
Yeah.
about that, so maybe that's.
So the way I took it is that they would be covering the cost for that. That's the way because I told him, I'm like, well,
that
when
I,
it comes.
that I'm not sure.
So
of.
I,
That
so
I'm
that's
not
why,
sure of.
so I would, I mean, that's kind of the impression that he gave me, but like I said, we're gonna meet with him when he comes back,
Yeah,
and see how he wants to participate,
But-
you know.
he might have some leads on people who might wanna help with
Okay.
this, you know,
Yeah,
that
like
kind of
sponsor.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like a different group
University
sponsored
department or
Uh-huh.
something like
each
that.
piece.
Mhm.
That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe some local businesses could do that too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So yeah, so just wanted to
Wow.
Sure.
let you guys
Sure.
know. And then also, Tom Shepard, is he a volunteer with this organization, or do you know if Tom Shepard is involved?
He's
Uh,
president
no.
right now of the Southeast Environmental Task Force.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's a volunteer with the Illinois Labor History Society or something.
I
But
don't
he
think so.
reached out to our office as well, and he said that he would, yeah, and he'll get back to me as well. You know, and a lot of these is just they want to be involved. So he said that he'll get back to me on the potential entertainment.
Music,
Mm-hmm.
labor
Nice.
songs.
Mm-hmm. So I told him
Well, that
just
should be
to-
interesting.
Yeah.
just throwing that out there.
Let's keep in mind on entertainment that we still are thinking about the what do you call it, bagpipers, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right,
So
still
I'm
is-
throwing yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no,
what do
no,
you-
I
yeah,
think
what do you
this is-
guys-
If he's got something,
Uh-huh.
fine, but we did put something on the table, and it
Mhm.
was reaching out
I-
to the.
It's a steelworker band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So and then that's gonna tap
but that
into the
doesn't
tables and
preclude
chairs.
other things. I mean, we're not gonna.
I mean, we can have. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know how big you guys want to do this. I don't know how long you guys want to do this. So whatever you guys want to do, just let me know and we'll work it out.
One of the things that we used in industrial training decades ago, I had a boss who was a very interesting guy, and one of the things he said when we were preparing programs was, the mind cannot endure more than cannot absorb more than the seat can endure. And I think when we're putting a program together, we'll make sure that we don't all of a sudden have people going, "Oh God, when will this end?"
Yeah,
Right.
right.
You know?
Of course, of course,
So time it.
of course.
I mean, we can have the entertainment going on before
warm
even the
up.
ceremony starts.
Right, yeah, well, I think we had said
Yeah.
that.
And,
Okay.
and the idea
Yeah.
about the bagpipers was just at the beginning,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
can walk in,
Mhm.
like in
Okay.
a parade with the bagpipers.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Okay.
and I think that's where we're going.
That's
Okay.
where we were going.
So
with
does somebody want to take the lead on just getting the entertainment organized?
it. I'll agree to
takers?
talk to Tom about it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out how to, help you with that.
Well, like I said, I got some volunteers with concheros, which is the Aztec dancers. We do a ceremony, a quick one.
Oh, yeah.
See, and we can have that at the end or something.
Well, yeah,
you
that could
know?
be. What was?
Yeah.
Now then, we also some friends because I'm involved with the American Indian right now, so they also suggested bring in a shaman to say something on. But we could. That's real easy because all you gotta do is check with the American Indian Church, and I'm pretty sure somehow or another we could tie something.
Mhm.
If we wanted something like that, it was just brought to my attention. I said, wait, that sounds nice to me.
I think it's great.
But at the same time, if we're gonna have a Christian priest or something, somebody just say something real quick words, hey. Because
so,
because the sculpture is so diverse and like this,
Mhm.
they all work. So no matter what we bring in, it's gonna work. Just a matter of time to make it.
If you
We
like.
could take contact information and invite people to come to the museum. We could even set up some special hours at the museum. Or
Okay.
talking about maybe doing one Saturday a month. We've got some new people who are really excited about making the material a little bit more accessible than it currently is.
Okay.
Being open only on Thursday. So, if we had the information, we could make contact with them and invite them to
So
the same as this opportunity.
So it just sounds like when the flyer is made, we could kind of say, if you arrive at 11 o'clock to tell your story, so people know that when they arrive, they gotta go find the tent, so that whole hour isn't being lost in recruitment of people.
I've got some, are we talking about us doing both
Yes.
I have a concern that we want to be set up at the event, at the major unveiling event, we want to be set up, and we're kind of like a one-man crew. So it's going to be hard to be in two places doing that at one time.
I agree.
I think what we have to do is set up any recording for after the
event.
preliminary event, then we can use that time afterwards.
If
But I'm
we-
going to be totally focused on trying to get in there and
Yeah,
capture the event.
Okay,
So
so
we'll make sure that you have a spot in that meeting. And I
Yeah.
think that
That's right,
definitely,
that's
we'll
right.
make sure that
Yeah,
you have
we
a spot in
should.
the media section during the ceremony, and we'll probably have to talk about where is the best view for you or whatever the case may be. But we'll make sure that.
We have at least one other videographer also, Tony Arduino.
I'm sorry?
Tony Arduino, maybe we could ask him.
I don't know what he's,
about
I've
also.
never had anybody else's, we've invited people to give us their information and process it, or to put it up themselves and link to us, and nobody's done it so far, so I'm not counting on anybody but us.
Okay,
That's
so
all I can tell you.
then, here's the other question then. Let's say that the stories are gonna be documented after the ceremony. How much time do you feel you would need to set up so that when that announcement is made, we can say, in 15 minutes, the
Yeah.
story tent will be, is 15 minutes enough?
Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Give it 20 just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
And if we're open earlier, they'll be able to get in.
So inside this tent, you said, are you gonna have memorabilia or set up too or no, or history
I
items
think
or no?
we had moved it, weather permitting, we sort of moved it out.
Yeah, we
Okay.
had talked about sort of strategically placing things along the river.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thing, and
Uh-huh.
we were gonna try to, and I think we can still do this, try to
Mhm.
get people who worked at the different plants to be at the different
Okay,
places, so they
nice.
can tell people,
Mhm.
this is what we made here, or
Mhm.
whatever it is.
Okay.
But there will be a tent available as well?
So that
I
was
would like to do the
where I'm gonna
recording
go
of people
to,
inside the
to
tent.
To next is a
Yeah.
tables, chairs, tent, and stage.
Can I ask one more question?
Mhm.
So if the speakers are gonna start at 12, how long is the program?
That's something. Yeah, good question. I don't know.
Okay.
How long are they speaking? I think
Well,
that's
we
what I'm
would
concerned
tell, I
about.
think we should tell people to prepare no more than 3 minutes.
I agree.
Yeah,
And we
Okay.
get it out before a half hour.
So and half an hour is kind of where I was thinking.
Okay,
Okay.
3 minutes. Okay.
And Jackie, would you recommend having an official timekeeper who can kind of nudge them or something when they get to the
Absolutely.
3.5 minute
We'll put the
mark?
music on.
We're talking about politics.
Or an MC.
With the bagpipe
I
and the
can
sugar on the
stand
bottom.
at some place and tell people to look at my face.
Or we could have an MC,
Yeah.
somebody to MC the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
And introduce everybody and keep the crowd going.
Yeah,
and-
we
That's
had
true.
thought about that, we hadn't talked about that, but that would be good.
We got a lot of young people that are really good at that, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
think about that.
Mhm.
Well, I've got somebody already I'm about to volunteer, Dan.
Dan, oh,
'Cause
yeah.
He's got great
Mhm.
voice.
That's true. Dan is, that's right. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
Dan is the executive director at the South Chicago Chamber of Commerce. So yes, we could definitely have him MC. He actually was originally part of the committee, but these meetings intercede
With
with
his
his other meetings. So unfortunately, so I've just been keeping him in the loop. And I just thought about, oh my gosh, I don't know. Well, probably not. Because I wonder if Lakeside has to say, no, because it's not on their property. They'll be there.
Or
They'll be involved.
neighbors, you know,
Yeah.
and smack that against them, so.
Are you inviting them to participate in any way, like speakers?
They've been, actually, they have been in the loop as far as the meetings too. Same thing, they just told me, since they're not from this office, they work downtown. They've just told me, like, keep me in the loop if you guys need anything, but we'll be there.
Do they have anyone who's now working here with, like, as Nasusa did?
Dean comes here if there's certain meetings. Today, right before this meeting, there was a meeting regarding the fishing issue where they're with the park district.
Oh, yeah.
So
The fishing issue?
Yes.
so the fishermen are getting on their property. That's the issue.
Oh, over at the slip.
At the slip,
Oh, I thought they were letting them do it. 'Cause it's-
So there is an area where they could. There's 200 feet. The farthest point, the farthest 200 feet closest to the lake,
Right.
that's park district, so they can. But they're driving their
They cross,
Oh, okay.
the
Lakeside
vehicles
property to get
onto
there.
Lakeside property. Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, but no, they shouldn't have to speak, right? No, I don't think so. You think so? I don't know. It's up to, I don't know. What do you think?
maybe you should extend the offer.
I think you
just
need to
in case.
extend it.
Invitation,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll extend an invitation to Dan McCaffrey to
Yeah.
say a few words.
Two things. One, they're major neighbors. Secondly, they participated in negotiating the amount of park space and everything. You know, they worked with the
Yeah.
city
You're
on
right.
that, so
Yeah.
the park space is partly because they've not made a big issue out of it too, I think.
We'll definitely extend an invitation to them.
Yeah.
So we'll cut everybody's time by 15 seconds.
Yes, yes.
There
I
you
like
go.
that thinking.
All right.
2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
No, 2.
And once they're up there, they don't really know what they get. So just, hurry them up. Okay, so other ideas as far as entertainment, I know we can always, finalize it that
Yeah.
day, but we want to be able to have music or beforehand, right?
Right, so then that means that we kind of need to put a deadline on it so we know what equipment is going to be necessary
Okay.
for the entertainment that
Okay.
we're having. So you'll probably need multiple mics.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you have the right entertainment, and possibly they bring what they need in terms of amplification, in terms of extra mics. But we definitely need to make sure.
Believe me, the bagpipes are loud enough for that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Location.
And would
And the
they?
people I'm talking about, I don't think they need anything either.
No.
No.
No,
So
they
another
could have
thing too-
strolling musicians
Yeah.
or something.
Okay.
Another thing
People
too
want
is
that.
what kind of funding, are these people donating
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
time? Okay. Which is awesome. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the event is 18th, so I would say at least a month in advance if we knew, or at least by the end of, just to be able to know what kind of, what we need, like tables, chairs. So I want to say that if we could finalize any kind of vendors or anything by March 31st, that gives us at least 2 weeks to be able to get any kind of tables or chairs donated if possible. If not, we'll take care of.
Let me ask you something, when you're talking about the vendors, you're talking about the food vendors?
No.
Or-
Food vendors, they're worrying about. Food
Okay.
vendors that we want to do, they're like the ones that they have the carts or whatever.
And who's organizing that? 'Cause the-
So that was where we're going to next. I don't know.
I just wanted to say, because we did South Shore Cultural Center for
Uh-huh.
Artist Month,
Uh-huh.
and just doing that was kind of more than a notion. It took a moment to get that to happen, and I think they put some sort of I don't know, application process of
Mhm.
some sort, and the person who did it is no longer there.
Okay.
But I don't have a phone number, but I did get the name of the person who replaced that person.
Okay. And
So we
what,
can
what kind of
We ended up just having 2 trucks.
okay. And,
But they,
That'd
what
probably
they
be
did,
plenty.
they
yeah.
opened it up to, any trucks that wanted to come, but we ended up with 2. And it, it
Joanne.
was a little pricey, but, you know.
Yeah, I was there.
You
It
were
was good
there.
food, it was
Yeah.
good food,
It was
but,
great food.
but it was just,
But it was a
like,
little
expensive,
pricey.
but it was
Really?
good, but it was worth it
There
though.
are some vendors who've shown up for some of the forest preserve
Mhm.
events, where you get tons of kids,
Mhm.
and the food is decent, but it's a little bit on the pricey side.
Yeah, so we need to kind of
Okay.
think about that.
So we can work on that, you know.
Okay.
Okay. You know, I'll work with you in any way
Okay.
possible. We'll try to get contacts to try to finalize that too. And those vendors will need to know by the end of March too.
Yeah, because I think that might have to go through the park district.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too right now is if the reason we said that we wanted to place them outside of the park
Mm-hmm.
is we don't have to worry about that.
Because they're on the street.
Down the
Like
street.
that.
So that's the reason kind of where we said that they'll be at the entrance.
I love
If
it.
they're in the park district, then yes. So.
Okay. Are you about to talk about the other vendor?
Oh yeah, other vendors. Do you guys want to open it to other vendors? As far as no, not food
just-
vendors. Like any kind of organizations besides like the ones that are going to be at those points, or no, or do you want to just keep it?
As long as they don't make it complicated, if they already have something that's simple, then,
Because there's some
They're
South
more than
Chicago
welcome.
organizations that are just like, oh, you know, any kind of event that they hear about they want to be at. Do we want to open that door?
Yeah,
as long as they don't take up
Yeah,
the time thing, but they could do, I don't see why not.
I just think it'll be good to get as much exposure as possible
Okay.
about what's going
Okay.
on their side, so that people don't feel like it's just some great
Okay,
mystery
and that's fine.
of.
A gated
Yeah.
community.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
The only thing that we won't be able to do is any kind of businesses because once you're selling any kind of items,
Mhm.
then like you said, we have to go through the park district.
Yeah.
So we,
yeah.
you know, if we can avoid that application, you know.
Well, I think we should do that.
Mhm.
But groups can come and have their leaflets or
Yeah.
their.
Okay.
Right.
Even businesses, if they want to have their information there, they
sure.
just can't sell it on there.
Right, okay.
Okay, that's
In other
fine.
words, they can plug their work, so do what they can.
Yeah.
So mostly social service agencies.
Mhm.
Well, that'd be
Yeah.
good work for the Chamber of Commerce's to come
Yeah.
in there and introduce themselves
Yep.
as part of the history, because when they were here, they were here.
Mhm.
I think they would work hand in hand,
Yeah.
perfect. And then we get more people to shop in our areas, I think, if we did it the right way.
Okay. And then, so tables, chairs, and stage. The stage, what we've done in the past, is, so we don't have to, because I know stage rentals are expensive. We'll reach out to, I know some park districts or some places have the stages that you put together. If not, what we've used in the past is flatbeds, and they worked out just
we,
as
we have
well.
one that we use for 106.
Oh, do you?
We have one that's about this high.
Yeah, I
And we
mean,
made it,
mhm.
and it's free. I mean, you can use
Yeah,
it.
can we use it for that day? That's awesome.
It's already made, and we made it. I don't know if you remember, we had it for the East Side Fest
Mhm.
on the far corner where the bands
Mhm.
were.
Oh, well, that would be
Cool.
great. Thank you, Roman. There you go. See? Don't have to worry about that. The tables and chairs then, by the end of March, if we can just finalize how many everybody needs. So we
Okay.
can, try to, I mean, obviously we're gonna try to get them donated from, you know, churches or whatever. I mean, even I think Lakeside may have some tables and chairs available, so we'll
Yeah.
talk to them.
Okay.
And if not, then
Well,
we'll
but
just
their
cover the
biggest
cost.
cost last time has always been the tents.
Mhm.
But we don't need those tents. You know, again, it's the weather, because most of us already have those pop-ups. So
Okay.
we're only gonna have so much, all you need is 2, 3 of those little pop-up
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
And if it's nice, we don't even need those, because
Well, they would need one, right?
The-
well, I know that for that, but I'm talking about
Uh-huh.
it for,
Mhm. For like everybody else.
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't, that's what I figured, I'm like, you know what, if anybody wants to come, we're not really providing, because tents get expensive.
No, that's where the expense comes in.
Yeah.
I think we should just
Mhm.
play it by ear, because it's still gonna be the weather that are, whatever.
Yeah, okay. Am I missing anything?
I was a little bit concerned about some of our elderly steelworkers who want to be there. Can we
Porta
set up?
potties.
Oh, I haven't thought about about
Yes,
that.
that's
but
right.
I was
Oh,
thinking
porta
about,
potties, yeah.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's a long walk because we could use the one at the,
I'm concerned about
yeah, and right now, I don't
That's a
think
long
there's-
walk.
I don't think there's any handicap parking, but maybe if we could set that up for
Yeah.
that day.
So the parking, one, we're gonna try to encourage people to park along 87th Street. But for people that cannot, walk, if the trolleys are not available, we'll either try to rent a bus or something, or we've had, this gentleman in the neighborhood that he's helped us out, they have one of those big vans. It only fits like 13 people at a time, but it can alleviate some people.
Yeah.
It's, so we can try to do
Yeah.
rounds or
So
whatever the case
as long
may
as
be.
there's some sort of consideration.
Yes, definitely.
What about those of us who are going to be doing tech stuff and things like that? We'll be able to get our vehicles in close to where we're working. I'm thinking like both for the tent, not more for the tent than the coverage, but
Yeah, you
I'm
got
gonna be hauling a lot of gear.
information for equipment if
Okay.
anybody
Well,
performs.
we have,
Yeah.
we can talk to, and I'm trying to think, so what are you looking, like, are you thinking like a pickup truck or something?
no, the fit that we use, no, it's a, it's like a station
A
wagon.
place where we could pull our vehicle in and
Uh-huh.
be sure that we could get there as close as possible to where we're gonna be
To move
working.
Oh,
Stuff, yeah.
well, you can drive into the park,
Mm-hmm.
if you can drive your vehicle onto like the road or whatever the case may be, along the park, if needed to get your
Just to
equipment or
drop
whatever.
stuff off, if you can do
Mhm.
that, then,
Yeah,
because I think that's gonna be probably even the case for the vendors too,
uh-huh,
to know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's that kind of dirt road place right there, right next to it, where we could just say that's just for people who are,
true,
are
part of the event.
vendors or.
We'll have to,
Yeah.
you know
That's
what,
where
we'll
they
have to
parked
drive
last time,
out there.
didn't
Yeah,
That was the parking we used.
Yeah.
It was on
We'll have to
right hand
drive.
side.
we'll have to drive out there and take a look at how it looks. I haven't been there in a couple of months.
I'm being very selfish because I think I'm having trouble walking right now, and I want to be as close to the
completely
thing as
understandable.
possible.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Okay, so we're gonna have to. I wonder how much for the festival. How much? I'm gonna have to talk to Dan because I know Dan had those carts.
That's what I was gonna ask.
wonder
you,
how
did he
much-
have Those cards with.
I don't know where they were from. I have to
Okay.
ask
What
him.
are like golf carts?
Yeah.
They were like golf carts,
Yeah.
and we used them for the festival to bring people back and forth. And
right. Yeah, that was good.
That's
I remember
kinda
that, yeah.
cool.
I'm gonna have to talk to Dan about that. I don't know where he got those from.
Harborside?
I mean,
It's a possibility.
yeah.
Yeah, but Dan knows he's.
Credit for-
I've seen them in there over there, those
Okay.
little carts. So.
And maybe,
Or-
you know what, maybe even talking to Lakeside, because I know they said, they will help in any way possible.
Okay.
We'll talk to them and see, hey, can you help with the transportation aspect of it?
And porta potties.
And porta potties, I put that down. I didn't even think about that, so I'm so glad you brought it up.
That's the only thing bad about right now. There's that
Uh-huh.
no bathroom, but you are allowed to use over there on Green Bay on Avenue. Green Bay, the office.
Mhm.
That's a long walk.
It
It
is.
is.
It's even a long drive.
Yeah,
To go,
right.
Yeah.
to go around, you have to use the restroom, you gotta.
Right.
Yeah.
Nearest tree.
Well, the reason I'm saying too, because I know Lakeside does their open house tours,
Mhm.
and they provide the buses for that.
Yeah, they
So I
do.
wonder if
Yeah.
they'd be willing to provide transportation for
Maybe
that
they
day,
should have.
Yeah.
you know?
And those are nice buses.
Mhm.
They're nice.
That'd be great.
So I will talk to Carlin and Dean. Okay. Am I missing anything else? Porta potties, the cars, transportation. And then, so you guys will take care of the walk or the path, right? And
Yeah.
talk to the vendors and, so I will turn to you the end of March to see how many tables and chairs. Okay. And then, entertainment, you're gonna, touch base on the bagpipes as well, right? And then
Because we
you're-
definitely don't want no bands. We just want entertainment.
I think
without-
the only thing that the alderman, I don't know why, but the only thing the alderman has been wanting is mariachi. So
Oh, yeah,
we may
that's
have
right.
mariachi.
Well, I
We're
thought
gonna
But
we
try
they
to
agreed
need
see.
the
to that,
stage.
yeah.
They
Huh?
could just walk around.
Yeah, they don't have to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that
So
makes
they
it
can-
more-
Mariachi's good,
I think
yeah.
that adds to
Exact- the
the
different
ambiance. It
Yeah.
makes it nice, yeah.
So we're gonna try to get a mariachi band as well. So,
Okay.
once we have the entertainment confirmed, then we can figure out who's gonna go when or whatever the
Sure.
case may be.
Sure.
We were talking about somebody from Croatia or Serbia.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, we have a new volunteer, at the museum, Karen Brzezinski, and she actually plays an instrument with a Croatian band.
Yeah, if they could do just one thing on like a.
Mm-hmm.
That
So-
I know Sue just her band just played for
Really?
the Archbishop when he came.
Karen's part of that.
Oh, that's the same band then.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Because
so
we
we
have
can-
double connection, good.
Yes.
I think
Okay.
we should do that. I think that's
That'll be
good.
cool too.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, it adds to the variety of our community. It gives us that,
Mhm.
that mixture, that
Yes.
blend that
Okay.
we all
Yes.
need.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we each have somebody that we need to talk to.
Now, you don't
So
mind
let's see, we
if I
have
ask,
Croatian, Irish, Scotch.
Mexican.
American
Yeah.
Indian, Mexican,
What, America?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know
drummers.
what?
We can
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to Flo.
The drummers.
See if we can
The
get
drummers.
to
Oh,
come
that
out.
would be so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, this
Really
would be
good.
so nice. Oh
Yeah, yeah.
That's a great.
So maybe we can get the drummers to just like be there, like between.
At the end, or
Or like at the very beginning, like
Mhm.
they stop at 11 because they kind of do the call to get people to come. So we can have them like being the drum so
Mhm.
people can hear it to get the attention.
Oh,
And it
interesting.
would be really great with the Aztecs to kind of,
Yeah,
Close
because
it out.
they're drummers
Mhm.
and conch and all that stuff.
yeah.
So,
Cool.
Okay.
now, the only other one that's different would be the shaman, because that's friends of mine from the American Indian movement. They brought it up. I just happened to be talking about it, and they say, hey, well, how about him? I said, hey, all I could do is come to a meeting and I could ask him.
Yeah.
I
Well-
might have another gig for them too.
So
Well, they're in our
um,
neighborhood now. They want to start doing things, and
Well, I've got
Yeah.
something for them.
they're even looking for a place to start a home base so they could start teaching.
We got someplace.
And I left out there, we just fell in with each other and everything worked out, so they'd be more than glad to help us out. So I said, hey,
With respect to the coordination, if we're gonna have a wandering band, it needs to know when to not play, so that when, if we're recording speeches, we don't have a band competing with
Oh,
us.
no, no,
And not
Right.
even knowing that it's a
Well, I
problem.
think all of this has to stop by noon.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Okay.
then some of it's gonna begin
Well,
at
some
the
might be
end.
interludes.
Oh,
and-
Yeah,
yeah, so that's the
because-
question.
a little bit here, a little
So I
bit
think
there.
that once we
Right.
confirm that they can participate, then we can go into assigning
Times.
the
Okay.
time slots.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
We just wanna see who's actually gonna be available so that way
Okay.
we can, so for
So
the
it's
next
double check.
meeting,
Next
for
meeting, we
sure.
have double check everything that we're talking
Yeah.
about.
So for the next meeting, we definitely wanna confirm, speakers
Okay.
as well as entertainment, to see if they're available and the vendors.
Okay.
And then we will be able to it'll help
Put
us
it all together.
put it all
Okay.
together.
Okay.
Mhm.
We've gotta get going.
Now, is this
We've
thing
got
gonna
another meeting.
be
Okay.
brown bags?
What was the next meeting?
So,
That was at the April,
we don't have a,
I thought we had one down, no?
no, I was just saying by the end of March, but I think that we should meet before that. By the
Okay.
end of March, we wanna finalize the,
Oh, sure.
the actual the actual vendors or tables that we would need. But, let me see. Let's say, what is this, the second week in February, right?
Right.
Do you wanna, can we do the same day and time, like March 10th,
Sounds good.
or is,
For next meeting,
Mhm.
March 10th? Yeah, this is 3? That'd be
Mhm.
perfect.
3:10, at 3 o'clock? This time works for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Just one last thing, remember we had talked about, we wanna do our Memorial Day massacre event
Oh,
at the
uh-huh.
park too,
uh-huh.
so I don't know what we have to go through to get that.
We can just have it. We can talk to the park district and just, let them know. When we get into events is when there's food and stuff like that, but I don't think you guys do any kind of food.
We're not
right?
gonna do food, we might do a tent though, so we
Okay.
still have to get a permit or something.
We'll talk to Bob Foster, and he asked me if he needed to be here. I told him not really, because we're just planning the event, so he just
Okay.
said just keep him posted. So I'm gonna talk to him and say, hey, you know what, we wanna do this thing
Okay,
for Memorial Day, what do we need to do?
so it's May 16th is the
May
day we're
16th,
talking about.
okay.
Yeah.
And we want to get that information for our Green Summit
Right.
calendar.
Mhm.
We
Okay.
want to put it on the calendar.
Okay,
to
Now that I
advertise.
remember, okay. So, Joanna and I were at the meeting for the Green Summit, and we did say we were gonna bring this to the table. Somebody asked if we can partner up the kickoff, the Green Summit kickoff with this event. I said, I needed to bring it to the table.
Kind of
Okay.
apples and oranges.
I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, and I'm just gonna say this, I think that this needs its own thing.
I do
agree.
too.
Okay.
I do too.
Okay.
I do
Yeah.
too.
I just wanted to bring it to the table
And
because they
I
asked me
would make the
to.
point with them that
Mhm.
it's really good that people want to start using the park that way. 'Cause
Exactly.
we got this event, they can have another event there, you know.
And we're
we
getting
talked
parks
about-
out the years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
The bigger question, if I'm not mistaken, when we have our kickoff for the Green Summit,
Mhm.
it's usually
Arbor
the
Day.
last
It is.
Friday.
It is.
it's Arbor Day.
It's
Arbor
that's
Day.
the
24th, I think.
24th?
Yeah.
It is.
Perfect.
So the reason that they said if we were willing to partner up, they would be willing to move it up. So I just said, we'll bring it to the table, just because it's, fair is fair and we'll ask, but I do believe this needs to be.
I agree. If anything, I think the Green Summit should be supporting this and have a table, so to say.
That's a
Exactly.
good
This is a
point.
good point.
You're right,
Yeah.
that's a very good
That
point.
way everybody gets a part.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. Okay.
What we
That's right.
might ask
Mhm.
though is if SOAR would be willing to have the Green Summit concept kind of presented to your organization. Because we've been celebrating this for, 8 years now?
Mhm.
And it's amazing, in just that period of time, how many experiments there have been in this larger area.
Mhm.
Some worked, some didn't work, but the idea of moving toward a greener
Mhm.
10th Ward and larger area is.
Yeah, we'll bring it up.
It's
Actually,
pretty strong.
we're going right now to a committee meeting on that, so.
Oh, okay.
So
Great.
I'll mention.
So if you
it
don't
and
mind,
see.
yeah, that would
sure.
be good, and we have.
Sure.
I was gonna mention the food. I remember
Thank you.
mentioning the bag
Thank you
lunch.
so much.
The bag lunch.
Oh, thank you.
But it's just a theme, it doesn't have to follow. Okay, nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Okay, thank you
Good
guys.
back
Okay,
there,
good to see
Rebecca, so
you.
thank you, nice meeting you. Nice seeing you again, no problem.
Bye-bye.
But that's what the bag lunch was, it was just the idea, but they don't really have to do that.
What was
If it's
this?
gonna cause a problem,
Keep-
they
The
don't
brown
have to
bag?
do that. But if they could do it and follow the theme, that'd be kinda nice.
Mhm.
In other words, whatever you order, even if it's line card chicken, but you just get it in them.
Yeah, so we'll have to, we have to pinpoint the vendors and talk about
Yeah.
the permits, and I'm gonna have to talk to you then about what you guys have to go through, or,
Okay.
it was
I
tedious.
think it went
Was
to
it
the
because,
city.
was it because it was on on park property or no? Was it?
It was on city park property, so what they
Yeah.
did, they went through the city, and I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh,
know
no.
this was on. I'm just gonna cut it off. Okay. I think what they did was they put some kind of request for
Mhm.
people to actually, apply to be a vendor, and
Mhm.
maybe they just got the two.
Mhm.
You know, I think that's kind of how they did it.
Yeah, so I know when we do special events for the city,
Mhm.
yeah, we have to go through the application.
Yeah.
And I think it's like $150 application fee, and
Oh.
then they get a license. So, kind of,
Sorry.
and I don't know if you might want to edit this out, Kevin, but
Okay, whatever you
Yeah.
want to.
yeah. So
Yeah.
just FYI,
Yeah.
so what we were saying is the reason if
Be willing to have the Green Summit concept kind of presented to your organization. Because we've been celebrating this for, 8 years now?
Mhm.
And it's amazing, in just that period of time, how many experiments there have been in this larger area.
Mhm.
Some worked, some didn't work, but the idea of moving toward a greener
Mhm.
10th Ward and larger area is.
Yeah, we'll bring it up.
It's
Actually,
pretty strong.
we're going right now to a committee meeting on that, so.
oh, okay.
So
Great.
I'll mention.
So if you
it
don't
and
mind,
see.
yeah, that would
sure.
be good, and we have.
Sure.
Okay, I was gonna mention the food. I remember
Thank you.
mentioning the bag
Thank you
lunch.
so much.
The bag lunch.
Oh, thank you.
But it's just a theme, it doesn't have to follow.
Is the
bag
meeting
lunch.
officially
But
over
I just
now?
thought it was like a cool idea to have,
No, we're,
whatever they're gonna
I
do,
think he's
because of
still-
us, they have it in.
The bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for the theme, because
Yeah.
it's the way,
While
So-
everybody's
But they
still
don't
here,
have to
I
do
wanted
that. They
to
don't
let
have
you
to
know
do
that when I
that.
put the video up this time, it'll be incomplete. I had a technical problem with some of the recording devices that were in here. I've got 2 chips, 2 memory chips.
Oh,
One of them was not working properly. I don't think I got the first half hour, or I'm not sure of time, but the first part of our meeting. I know I'm getting this right now. So I will share with you whatever we've got, but it won't be as complete as it ought to be.
Kevin,
And I apologize.
anything that you provide for us is like,
that's right.
Absolutely.
great, thank you so much.
Okay, nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Okay, thank you
Yeah,
guys.
good back there,
Good to see
Rebecca, so
you.
thank you, nice meeting you. Nice seeing you again, no problem.
Bye-bye.
But that's what the bag lunch was, it was just the idea, but they don't really have to do that.
What was
If it's
this?
gonna cause a problem,
Keep-
They
The
don't
brown
have to
bags?
do that, but if they could do it and follow the theme, that'd be kinda nice.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yeah.
other words, whatever you order, even if it's line card chicken, but you just get it in them.
Yeah, so we'll have to, we have to pinpoint the vendors and talk about
Yeah.
the permits, and I'm gonna have to talk to you then about what you guys have to go through, or,
Okay.
it was
I
tedious.
think it went
Was
to
it
the
because,
city.
was it because it was on on park property or no? Was it
It
on?
was on city park property, so what they
Yeah.
did, they went through the city, and I'm sorry, I didn't know
Oh, no,
this was
you're
on. I'm just gonna cut it off. Okay. I think what they did was they put some kind of request for people to actually, apply to be a vendor, and maybe they just got the two. You know, I think that's kind of how they did it.
Yeah, so I know when we do special events for the city,
Mhm.
yeah, we have to go through the application.
Yeah.
And I think it's like $150 application fee, and then they get a license. So, kind of,
Sorry.
and I don't know if you might want to edit this out, Kevin, but
Okay, whatever you
Yeah.
want to.
yeah. So
Yeah.
just FYI,
Yeah.
so what we were saying is the reason if
Be willing to have the Green Summit concept kind of presented to your organization. Because we've been celebrating this for, what, 8 years now? And it's amazing, in just that period of time, how many experiments there have been in this larger area.
Mhm.
Some worked, some didn't work, but the idea of moving toward a greener
Mm-hmm.
10th Ward and larger area is,
Yeah, we'll bring it up.
pretty
Actually,
strong.
we're going right now to a committee meeting on that, so.
oh, okay.
So
Great.
I'll mention.
so if you don't
and
mind,
see.
yeah, that would
sure.
be good, and we have,
Sure.
Okay, I was gonna mention, the food. I remember
Thank
we
you.
mentioned the bag.
Thank you so much.
The bag,
Oh, thank you.
but it's just a theme, you know, it doesn't have to follow.
Is the
bag.
meeting officially
But
over
I just
now?
thought it was like a cool idea to have,
No, we're,
whatever they're gonna
I
serve,
think
because
so.
of us,
they
I
have it in.
The bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for the theme, because it's
Yeah.
the way,
While
So-
everybody's
But they
still
don't have
here,
to
I
do
wanted
that. They
to
don't
let
have
you
to
know
do
that when I
that.
put the video up this time, it'll be incomplete. I had a technical problem with some of the recording devices that were in here. I've got two memory chips.
Oh,
One of them was not working properly. I don't think I got the first half hour, or I'm not sure of time, but the first part of our meeting. I know I'm getting this right now. So I will share with you whatever we've got, but it won't be as complete as it ought to be.
Kevin,
And I apologize.
anything that you provide for us is like,
that's right.
Absolutely.
great, thank you so much.
Okay, nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
okay, thank you
Yeah,
guys.
good luck to
Okay,
everybody.
good to see you.
Thank you, nice meeting you. Nice seeing you again, no problem.
Bye-bye.
But that's what the baggage was, it was just the idea, but they don't really have to do that.
What was
If it's
this?
gonna cause a problem,
Keep-
they
The brown
don't have to
bags?
do that, but if they could do it and follow the theme, that'd be kinda nice. In
Yeah.
other words, whatever you order, even if it's line card chicken, but you just get it in them.
Yeah, so we'll have to, we have to pinpoint the vendors and talk about
Yeah.
the permits, and I'm gonna have to talk to you then about what you guys have to go through, or,
Okay.
it was
I
tedious.
think it went
Was
to
it
the
because,
city.
was it because it was on on park property or no? Was it?
It was on city park property, so what they
Yeah.
did, they went through the city, and I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh,
know
no,
this was
you're
on. I'm just gonna cut it off. Okay. I think what they did was they put some kind of request for people to actually, apply to be a vendor, and maybe they just got the two. You know, I think that's kind of how they did it.
Yeah, so I know when we do special events for the city,
Mhm.
yeah, we have to go through the application.
Yeah.
And I think it's like $150 application fee, and then they get a license. So, kind of,
Sorry.
and I don't know if you might want to edit this out, Kevin, but
Okay, whatever you
Yeah.
want to.
yeah. So
Yeah.
just FYI,
Yeah.
so what we were saying is the reason if